keep sharing a few pictures that you submitted from the snow this morning. A lot of snowmen out there. I guess snow women too, but the snowmen don't last very long in the sunshine. Now check this photo out. This is from Sandra Salazar Canales, and notice it's still holding up, proof that it did snow in the RGV, but that snowman basking in the sun with a hat and sweater on, or a scarf, that doesn't sound like a way to keep a snowman going for a while. Stay out in the sun there, old Snowy. Probably got too warm for it this afternoon, but if your snowman's still hanging around, you somehow managed to keep it going for a while this afternoon. That was later this afternoon there from Sandra. Near freezing in spots tonight, though. We are in the 30s now. A sunny weekend is coming. Temperatures likely back at least the 60s for highs for Saturday and Sunday. Warming trends underway, but we're not talking about getting back into the 80s anytime soon. You know, the weather that happened before the cold front, that's not coming back quite yet. Now, temperatures tonight are kind of about where they were at this time last night, near the 40-degree mark, plus or minus a little bit, and mainly in the upper 30s right now. 38 in Harlingen, 37 in Rio Grande City, 37 in Port Isabel. But a big difference between tonight and last night, if you're outdoors, is it was, you know, raining and windy and sleeting and everything last night at this time, and things are much calmer tonight. And look at the wind speeds, only around 10 miles per hour or less. In fact, 0 in McAllen and only 3 in Rio Grande City. But with light winds overnight and clear skies, dry weather tonight, it should be rather cold. We showed you earlier, low temperatures could dip into the mid-30s, which is only maybe 3 or 4 degrees colder than it is now. So close enough to freezing that you know, these temperatures are measured about 6 feet or so off the ground. And between that distance from there down to the ground, at, you know, this type of night can actually be a few degrees cooler. So you might have some frost on your rooftops of cars and metal objects and things like that when you wake up, even though the thermometer hanging off your window at your house might say it's like 35 or 34. So that can happen, but the coldest temperatures where it may dip briefly to around freezing or so, likely in Starr County, maybe western Hidalgo County. So there's a look back at the radar last night and into this morning. This is, well, actually 18 hours. It starts early this morning at 4 a.m. You see all the snowflakes are flying beginning around sunrise in parts of the mid and lower valley. Now, everything has moved away. The upper level disturbance that was triggering the snow is gone, so that's brought in all the dry, clear conditions, not only here, but all across Texas. So if you are traveling tomorrow, no more icy roads, no more rain or snow or anything like that on the roads in Texas tonight or tomorrow, so it's safe travels. Show you the travel forecast later, but it still is cold tonight. 32 in Austin right now, 39 in San Antonio. Your day planner for tomorrow, we go from basically 30s in the morning to 50s and 60s by afternoon, highs near 66 with sunshine all day, probably no clouds, and just a light wind from the west or so at around 10 miles per hour, but could still easily dip into the 40s by about this time tomorrow evening. Clouds breaking up at the coast where it was, again, kind of yucky there through today too. 65 tomorrow afternoon with a northwest wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Water temperatures cool back into the 60s, even the 50s in the bay waters, but no advisories in effect tomorrow. A low tide in the afternoon, a high tide in the evening. So first 7-day forecast, highs coming back up. We'll be easily back up there into high temperature around about 66 tomorrow. Sunshine near 68 on Sunday. 71 by Monday, a gradual warming trend, but you notice even Sunday morning may be cold enough to get into the upper 30s. After that, no more chances for frost or anything like that, with highs in the 70s and lows in the 40s and 50s next week. That does it for me. Someone's getting anxious over there. I think it's Joel. He must have some good sports news tonight.
I